Hello, and welcome to Cocktails with a Twist of History, your digital destination for all things cocktails. There's a very interesting cocktail called a Negroni. But first, I want you to subscribe, I want you to follow, and I want you to like the show because this really makes a big difference to us. The Negroni is made with equal parts Campari, gin, and sweet vermouth. Campari is a red, bitter, and sweet Italian aperitif, which means that you drink it before a meal to stimulate your appetite. Campari is herbal and citrus notes, primarily bitter orange peel, and somehow it is both intensely bitter and subtly sweet. It was originally said that the red color came from a snail, but they literally haven't used snail in about 100 years, and the bottles all say that it's artificially colored, so it does not have any snail in it. It also, though, might have quinine, rhubarb, and ginseng. The recipe is a secret. The Negroni has become a very popular cocktail over the century, and it has other cocktails that were born from it. If you switch the gin for bourbon, you have a Boulevardier, which took me a really long time to say that. There is another cocktail that has rum and another one with tequila, and that is a Negroni that I've heard is very good, but I have not tried those yet. The steady item in the Negroni is the Campari, and for some reason, orange peel. It has to have orange peel. So Campari does have an orangey flavor, sort of, so I guess that does make sense. Anyway, I have been talking way too long without a drink in my hand. Let's make a Negroni. In these years, the cocktails were equal parts, so we are going to start with 1 ounce of gin because this is a gin-based cocktail. It is a stirred cocktail. So we have our stirring cup right here, and we are going to put in 1 ounce of gin. For those of you that know me, I tend to put in a little bit more of the base alcohol, which I think I'm going to do right here. And there we go. Now, the star of the show is Campari, and we are going to put in 1 ounce of Campari. Now I will tell you that the times that I've used Campari in the past, it is kind of strong, so I've used a little less. Here I'm going to use the full 1 ounce, and we're going to see what happens. And you can see it turns it that red color. Okay, there's our Campari, and now we're going to use 1 ounce of a sweet vermouth. And here we go. Very, very simple. Three different things, and that's it. We are going to put in our ice, and as usual, we're going to put in a lot of ice. Got to make sure you got a lot of that ice. It's a stirred cocktail, so it really does need that ice because all it has is that stirring. Here we go, one more. And we take our spoon and stir. And here we go, see that? It really does need quite a bit of stirring, and you'll already feel that it starts to get cold. So here we go, more stirring. That should be good. Take our strainer, put it over. It is going to go into a old-fashioned glass. Here we go, let's pour it in without the ice. And now I have my orange peel. And you're going to take the orange side and squeeze it down so that those oils get out. Wrap it around the side and drop it in. And that is a Negroni. Cheers. Very interesting cocktail. Delicious. It really is very, very nice. Yes, the Campari does have that bitterness, but it also has the sweetness. The gin, I feel the gin coming through. Fascinating, fascinating cocktail. The Negroni was first mixed in Florence, Italy in 1919 at a place called Caffè Cassoni. Now it's called Caffè Giascona. I do not speak Italian either, so I apologize for my pronunciation of all of these. The bartender's name was Vasco Sarkelli. And he had a very interesting customer whose name was Count Camillo Negroni. And he was an actual count. He was a nobleman and a real character with a very large personality. By the 1920s, Count Negroni went to the United States to become a cowboy, although by then, honestly, the role of the cowboy was much less grandiose as it was in the late 1800s, but still, he went from Italy to the Old West, or to the West, to become a cowboy. That's kind of cool. In 1919, the popular cocktail, the Negroni, was starting to really take shape, but before that, the big cocktail was something called an Americano, and that was made with soda water. Now, Count Negroni didn't want a drink that was watered down, and so Sarkelli, the bartender, decided to swap out the soda water and put in the gin and the Campari. And then he added the vermouth, and that's how the Negroni was born. Of course, he named it after his most famous customer. Very common practice for a bartender to do that in those days. This was written in a story by the head bartender of that establishment in a book that translates to, quote, "In the footsteps of the Count, the true story of the Negroni cocktail," unquote. But it definitely puts this in the category of a martini or a Manhattan. And it is a very good cocktail. Well, as always, if you know other pieces of the story, we want to know it. You can put it in the comments, you can send it to us by email, or you can tell it to the bottle. Also, please make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and please send a link of this show so that other people can enjoy cocktails with a twist of history. Thank you.